Hello and welcome back to Kim's Cozy Corner. Today I am going to continue working on trellising some of my green stalks. Now I have a video out there talking about all the different ways to stake and trellis and contain your vegetables, whether we're talking tomatoes or whether we're talking peppers or whether we're talking green beans. So I want to share with you one of the GreenStalk setups. So I just received in the mail today some additional GreenStalk trellising just like this right here that I have on my pepper plants as well as on my tomato plants. And I'm just going to share with you the process that I use to put these in place. I just want to show you how easy it is, and maybe this type of trellising works for you. So let me just get to it. Typically, green beans, unless they are pole beans, are bush varieties. Typically, they put on all of their fruit or beans around the same time, and then they kind of have onesie twosies from here on out. Every now and then you will find a variety of bean that will continue to produce longer than others. Contender is one of those that I find to produce longer throughout the season. But then you have some green beans that are supposed to be bush beans and they get really big. And so these are royal purple beans, and they're bush beans, but it puts all of the beans at the top so you're not searching around to try to find them. Now, with that being said, I've found that, I don't know, maybe they're just fertilized so nicely and they're so happy in their home, and that's why they are getting so big. But as you can see, these things are falling over and they're kind of everywhere. Now, last year I used string and I use these stakes. And so these are labeling stakes where you can put them in the pocket, and you still can tie a string here from this one to the next one to kind of hold your plants up. And that's the method that I used last year on my green beans. Here's a picture of my tower last year for my beans. And so last year I grew royal purple and gold rush. And I just used a string to kind of hold those plants up a little bit. If you get a heavy wind and your beans are leaning over the side of this container, the wind could cause it to bend or break right on the edge of the container. So I found that I needed to hold them up a little better. So that was royal purple and gold rush. This year, I'm not growing royal purple. I'm growing purple TP beans, and so they actually put all of the beans at the top. So we are going to provide a little support for those beans. So I ordered another batch of the green trellis that I use on my peppers and my tomatoes, along with cucumbers and other vining plants. Since I ordered 3 more, I wanted to kind of share with you how I use them. And they come with instructions on how to set them up. And I've used them now for a couple of years, so I know how to set them up. I will follow these directions as I'm setting them up. But if you don't know how to do it, it's not hard. Just follow the directions that they provide. So I am going to take each and every one of these pieces here, and they connect right in between 2 pockets. So let's do the bottom row first. Now this, unlike the peppers and unlike tomatoes, I need a bottom one here because these beans are leaning down. It's not like they're growing straight up. They are leaning down. So my goal is to support them to keep them from leaning down too far and falling over and breaking by touching the edges. So let's see if I can show you a good opening where you can kind of see what I'm doing a little better. I don't know how closely I can bring you in, but I'm in between 2 pockets, and there's a little lip right here That's going to connect to each of the 2 pockets right here. And this will go up underneath the tier up above it. So let's just put that in. And let's put the last few on. And you want to make sure they're all the way in there. Like this plant right here, it's a perfect example of how the wind blew and it bent it over, and it now has a bruise of where it's been bent over, and now it's going to have to recover from that injury. So if you think about your plants like your body, when they get cuts and bruises and lack of water, lack of food, how would you feel, right? You wouldn't be too happy either. All right, I got the last one on. I had a pot of peppers. I had a pot of potatoes back there that was leaning up against this space. So the way I like to do it, I like to take 2 of them, and you'll see a little knobby end on your piece here. So it's curved and it has this little knobby end here. This little hold goes right on the piece that's coming off of it. So it will go on right there. But what I like to do is put 2 together at one time. So there's a little place for them to hook inside each other. Just like that, it clicked in. It's nice, it's sturdy. And then I am going to connect this. And typically I would put these on before the plants are this big, but I didn't have any. So you have to deal with what you got. So I have one clicked in. I'm not going to click this one in on this little home until after I install the next piece. Clicked in place. Now I'll sit it down. And then I am going to spin it around, and I'm going to do the same thing. Before I connect it, I'm going to take this little piece, slide it right in its slot, and then I'm going to set it down. All the way around, I'm going to follow this process. My camera's overheating, so hopefully you're seeing this. And then I get to that very last one that I had. I'm pulling my plants up so that they don't have to hang down over that edge. And now I get to the last one. Before I put it down, I'm going to lock it in, and then I'm going to put it in place. And there we go. That trellis is in. These plants are ready to go. And as the plants start growing more and more, hopefully these couple places where they've already bent and they have that injury, I'll be able to give them more support once they kind of recover from that. But that's how you do it. So come with me while I work on the other two tiers, because I only received 3 and I have 4 tiers. The top tier is Gold Rush, and they actually grow pretty good. So I'm hoping that not having a support for them will be okay. And if I end up needing a support for them, then I will use these plant stakes that are also labels. So that'll be my plan. We will see when we get closer to that point. But for now, let me just get the rest of these installed. Now you can purchase these as part of a bundle. It's a starter bundle. I don't remember the name of it. Or you can purchase these as one set. So one trellis going around, or you can buy it in a pack of 3. And I'm sure you can buy it in larger quantities than that if you need it. But a pack of 3 was plenty for me for what I'm doing with my planters. All right, I'm all the way around. Now, if you've never heard of a GreenStalk, because that's what this is here, then check out my video, All Things GreenStalk. And I have a whole playlist on GreenStalks, and it talks about how I set them up, the type soil that I use, all of the different vegetables and things that you can grow in your GreenStalks. And I will have a link in my description that will take you to the GreenStalk website. If you follow my link, you'll get a $10 discount or a $10 coupon, if you want to call it that, off of your purchase. This is not in there. You really want to check it and make sure they're in there so that it's truly giving you the support. You know what? I have some weeds back there that's pulling on my to get that taken care of too. Whoo, I tell you, weeds are taking over the garden. I love these little bags that they come in, and I save them, and at the end of the year, I put them right back in those bags and put them up, waiting on the next season. All right. Remember, when you're putting that first one on, take the first set and do it in your hand first before you start that process. At least that's the way I found it to be easiest to do. And that last one, put it together before you put it down, and then you put it right in place. Isn't that nice? And so as these beans get full and big and they start taking over the planter, like the picture from last year, I think this is going to provide the perfect support for it. Now these, like I said, can be used for squash, they can be used for cucumbers, they can be used for peppers, they can be used for cowpeas, they can be used for tomatoes. They can be used to help support whatever it is you're growing in your GreenStalk. If you found this helpful, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with others you think could enjoy it. Thanks again, and we'll see you back again here real soon. Bye.